We have Pastor Charlie Williams, who will be giving our closing prayer today, and Dr. Aaron Milner. Dr. Milner, as everybody should know, is our Saraland school superintendent, does an incredible job, and I'm very proud to be the mayor of a city that has arguably one of the best school systems in the state of Alabama. Thank you, Dr. We have a very special gentleman here today with a very special message for us. Judge Edmond Naman probably does not even need an introduction, but I'm going to do my best anyway. He is the circuit judge for the 13th Judicial Circuit and the presiding judge for the Mobile County Juvenile Court since 2007. And in judge years, that's a very long time. Judge Naman graduated from UMS, the University of South Alabama, and the Jones School of Law, where he received his JD degree. He has served as Assistant District Attorney for Mobile County, Special Prosecutor, Drug Court Program, Victim Impact Council. His community leadership's just been incredible. I may take his whole 20 minutes just reading all this. He's the governor appointee to the Alabama State Advisory Group for Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Protection, chairman of the Mobile County Children's Policy Committee, initiated the Mobile County Truancy Task Force, initiated the Mobile County Juvenile Gun Court, initiated Parent Responsibility Court, created the Community Advisory Board, encouraging and aiding citizens in the county to instigate programs for at-risk youth. Of course, the NEST program, works Big Brothers, Big Sisters Board of Directors, also on Board of Directors or Advisory Board for Exchange Club in Mobile, Penelope House, Underage Drinking Task Force, Mobile County Shoplifting Task Force. I'm not even on page 2 yet. Awards and honors, 2008 Spirit of Recovery Award, 2009 Community Partner Award, 2010 Mike Godfrey Community Service Award, 2011 Man of Vision Award, 2013 Champions of Life Award, 2016 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Humanitarian Award, 2017 another 16 the St. Sir Thomas More Lecturer at Spring Hill College, and 2017 Top 50 Innovators in Education Award. Let's give a big warm welcome for Judge.
Okay, I've been nervous about this when Mayor Rubenstein called me and said he wanted me to speak at the prayer breakfast. That's all I've been thinking about. What am I going to talk about? You know, there's so much to talk about, and I have 20 minutes to do it. But I'm going to tell you, my wife nudged me this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not inclined to wake up quite that early. And she said, get up, you got to go speak. And I got begged her, please don't let me sleep. I had this nightmare, Mayor, that I was going to oversleep, and you were going to call me at 7:05, and where are you? And I'd still be in bed. But thank goodness I did get up. She said, especially, they've done a Facebook page about you. You're on Facebook. You're going to be speaking today. Well, I'm nervous, but I do feel at home, too. I want you to know I truly feel at home here. You know, 12 years ago, and I'm trying to remember if it was before, while I was running for judge, much like Brandy, you know, and I was nervous, and I was out here at a meeting, a city meeting at Saraland, and you were trying to make a very big decision, and I'm trying to remember if it was before I was judge or right after I was judge. And when I think about that, Brandy Hambright is here, and I know what a tough race she's been running, and she's been running for a long time. And I want you, as we have all of you here, please pray for those of us who serve. We need it so badly, especially in the world today. And please pray for those that wish to serve, because it is a heavy responsibility they're taking on, and it is not easy to put yourself out there. As we all know, it is not easy. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It's hard on the family. So please keep her in your prayers and everyone that's running today, because we need them. We need good people. Ladies and gentlemen, 12 years ago, though, I was at a city meeting, and you were trying to make a very difficult decision. A decision that I really, truly believe was God's decision. And it was the same time, it corresponded about the same time that I was becoming judge, either before or after, but it was really early, because I believe it was 2007. They were in that room and they were trying to decide whether they were going to start a new school. were they going to break away from the system that had failed their children? And it truly had failed their children. And there was all kinds of naysayers, the least of which was the superintendent of the schools. And they were out hammering in, it's going to bankrupt you. You can't do it. You'll not be able to teach. You're not going to have the resources. You're not going to have, the ability to do it. You just can't do it, and don't do it. Don't do it. I wanted to say something, but I was still kind of raw. I didn't, but I knew something. I knew something for sure, that our schools were failing, that everybody that I, as a district attorney, were sending to prisons or jail had one thing in common. One thing. They were all failing schools. It was so clear, it was right on point. If they were going to change this city, if they were going to take the step that they needed, I wanted to yell out, do it! Do it! Well, thank God they did it. And in doing so, they have changed the community. In doing so, they have defined who you are as a community. I'll tell you who you are when I drive in and I see the churches, and I see all these pastors in this room, and I see all these good men and women of faith. I know who you are every day. And this city is prosperous because of it. And this city is good because of it. And its children are well taken care of and capable because of it. I want to do a little bit of bragging. Mr. Miller, I want to tell you, you run a fantastic institution. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, I see it all. And I'm not here to beat down Mobile County Public School System. I'm not here to do that at all, but it is a difficult thing, and they're going through difficult times right now. And they're trying to make decisions. Is it time to move on? Just as the hard decisions that you've had to make. Is it time? It is horrible, right? And we're living in a community right now in Mobile County alone. We are 39th out of 67 counties that's safe and healthy to children. Okay, in Mobile County, can you imagine 39 out of 67 counties in this fantastic, in this wonderful community? How can we be that? In a state that's 42 out of 50 states and safety to children, that should say something to you. And what's happening out there? Well, I'll tell you, our children are living in poverty. Poverty, very real poverty. 44% of Mobile County's children live in poverty right now. 5,000 of our children, our school-age children, are homeless. Are they living under parks and benches? No. But believe me, they're moving from place to place to place. They can't get any traction in their education. Most of them suffer from food insecurity. Everywhere around them, 92% of the children that I deal with, 92% come from a single-parent home. Can you imagine what that looks like? Can you imagine what that feels like to live in that poverty and that stress, in that one single caregiver, many times only a mother, but many times a grandmother with multiple kids that she has to deal with? Can you imagine that? And then when you look at the schools, and the schools are failing. Most of our high schools are failing schools. Most of our middle schools are failing schools. If you have bad economics and you have a bad school system, what happens? You're living in a caste system. You are truly living in India, because you're never going to get out. Where you're born is where you're going to stay. Saraland realized that. Saraland put their hopes and their dreams and their belief in God. They were not going to be complacent. They were going to put, regardless of the economics, regardless of what all the naysayers were saying, Saraland realized that we had to do something different. And I'm going to tell you, it has and it is paying dividends. Mr. Miller, you're doing a great job. I want to recognize a lady, because every day, every Thursday for the last 12 years, I have been working on trying to improve education in our community. Because I know that a child not going to school means so much more than just not getting their education. What's going on in their home when the parent is not taking care of the most important job the parent has to do, and that is to educate their child? Well, I'm going to tell you what's happening. There's mental health issues going on in that house. There's horrible abuses that are going on in that house. There's drugs, there's loss, right? There's just a true lack of really belief that their life can be better. And there's one lady in this community, in your very community, that every day is fighting that tough fight. And let me tell you what it is. It's not just a fight, it's a soul fight. We are fighting for the hearts and souls and minds of our children. And Luke Shambo, please stand up. because Lou Shambo is fighting that fight for you. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Because what she does is she's not going to let a child sit in the bed. She's not going to let a family not take care of their most important responsibilities, but she's going to galvanize this community, and that's exactly what she does. She goes into those homes. She finds out what's going on. She's talking to the teachers. She's talking to the churches. She's asking the pastors, we need help with this family. This family is in desperate situation. We need help. Help us. She's talking to the business community. She's working whatever she can to see that the needs of that child is being met and that family is being met. And in doing so, she's saving lives. Let me tell you, it's not just about school. It's about lives. It's about saving children, saving families. And Lou and Mr. Milner and I got it written down. All the wonderful Miss Spondike and Mr. Crane, Mr. Stokely, Miss Walden, they're all working. Miss Williams, they're all working to bring about change. You know, there is a plaque above my bench. Give therefore to thy servant an understanding heart to discern good from evil, for who by himself can carry such an awesome responsibility. You know, every day I sit behind that, and it serves not so much as decoration for my courtroom, right? But as a real call to me that when I'm facing horrible situations, and let me tell you what it's all about. It's all about children and families that are hurting. I'll try to decide what I was going to tell y'all in a story that I would give you. And I thought, you know, every day is a story. And yesterday, the very same story. The story came up to me. There's two children, and a 14-year-old boy and a 13-year-old girl. They go to school, not in this school system, but very close, right? And mom and dad are on drugs and have been all their life, and they've lived spread out between maternal grandmother, and then they go to maternal grandmother. And then they move around from place to place, but they were not going to school. They had missed 80 days of school, and they were before me now, and they had been in our crisis center where we were trying to keep them for safekeeping because nobody in their family would protect them, not one person. And they were looking at me, and I was looking at them. And I didn't see them just as a truant or a child in trouble, but I was looking into their eyes, and in doing so, I was drawn into their soul. And it was hurting, and it was dark, and it was hopeless. The little girl, 13-year-old girl, had been used. We had high suspicion she'd been sexually abused almost all her life. And what she was doing now was sending out sexting pictures of herself to older men in the community. Both of them positive for marijuana, right? Both of them positive. Parents positive for methamphetamine. We tried to go out and find a family member that we could leave them with, and so we didn't have to keep them in protective custody. We were trying to keep them out of the system, right? We tried to find somebody in their family that we could lean on. And so we sent them home for 1 week. When they came back, I drug tested them again and found out that dad had had contact with the son. And he tested positive for methamphetamine just like his dad. And I had them locked up there, and we thought we found it out. We thought we had somebody that we could go talk to, we could leave them with. It was an uncle, and he had a good job, and he worked for a long time. He was going to take all the children in. There was a 2-year-old, 14-year-old, 13-year-old. So as we got in court, they had been in our custody now for about 3 weeks. Thought some EHR comes back to the judge. Uncle's okay, test negative for drugs, but his wife positive for methamphetamine. And I had to tell those children, I had to look in their eyes, I had to tell those children, I don't have a place for you. I don't have a place for you. And they were crying, and they came up to the bench. I just wanted to touch them. I just wanted to hold their hand and tell them that you're going to be okay. I'll find something. Give me some time. I'll find something, I promise. Who's there for me, Judge? Who's there for us, is what he asked. Who is there? I had a young man, his father killed his mother right in front of him. It was him and 5 of his siblings. Right in front of him, all around. And this is one of yours. This is one of your children. And he was living with his grandmother, and he's brought into me. And he had been acting up at home because he's living with his grandmother now. And I think there's like 8 siblings living in this home with this grandmother now. Can you imagine that? He's just had the most traumatic, horrible thing. He is an orphan, right? He's living in this chaotic home, and he got in a little trouble with his grandmother. He's talking back to her. He ended up in my court. And he's just so beat down. He's just so hopeless. His whole world has been upended, right? And I I just see through his eyes the hopelessness, the loss. And I said, son, we're going to make some peace. We're going to straighten some things out. I'm going to bring some peace into your home. We're going to get the services that we need. We're going to put them into your home. And we're going to help you. You're going to be okay. I just felt like I just had, so I got down off the bench and I gave him a hug. I said, just give me some time. I'm going to do it. We're going to make things better. God is going to be there for you. God is going to help us in this. He said to me something I'll never forget, and this is one of your kids. I want to believe in God, Judge, but I just can't find it. I want to believe in God, but I just don't see him. And why should he see him? Why should he see him? Everything in his life had been torn apart. And there was really no real hope that he was going to do any better. He was struggling in school. He was doing poorly. There was no peace in his life or any of his siblings. When I talk about the wonderful schools, and they are wonderful, when I talk about a community that is special, to me, this is the most special community in this county. And I really believe it. I don't care who hears it. And I never even lived here. But this is my home. I feel at home. And why did it? Because this is a community of God. This is a community of people that still, the old-fashioned values still live here. It's a vibrant city, it's changing, but the old-fashioned values still live here. But what do we say when a young man comes and says, I can't find God? Well, I'm going to tell you, the devil thrives in complacency. With all the good things that are going around, the devil thrives in confusion. And he wants you to feel like in these chairs as you go back to your job that everything is relatively okay. That things are good. We got a good school. We got good people. We got wonderful churches. And look at all the pastors in this room. There's real power in this room. But the devil thrives in that God. The devil wants you to believe that the police chief's got it all under control. And the fire chief's got it. The mayor, we got it. Everything is okay. Don't worry about it. Go back to your jobs. Go back to your homes. Go back to just listening to statistics. Don't look into the eyes of those that are hurting. Don't look. Because if you look, you might look. That's what the devil wants you. But that's what you must not do. That's what you must not do. There are hurting people right in this community. We probably have 50 children in this community right now. I have 50 cases of dependency where children are lost and hurting. In this very community, we still have too many that are hurting and not doing what they need to do in school. Too many that are lost. And too many that are saying that they can't find God. But God is kind of special, and he gives us what we need to be successful. Ladies and gentlemen, my message to you as we go is don't let complacency rule the day in Saraland. We got a special thing going here, but we got a lot more work to do. I will tell you right now, I'm failing you. Okay? I'm failing you. I'm not meeting the needs of all the children in this community. Your police chief's failing you. Your fire chief's failing you. Your mayor's failing you. Your school superintendent's failing you. We are not meeting the needs of all the children in this community, and there's a reason for that. We can only do so much. We can only do so much. We are limited so much by the resources that we have. But we have such wonderful resources. And my message to you today, before I step down, is there's a lot of people hurting. I want to find God, but I just don't see it. How does God work in this world? How does God work? But through us, through the pastors, through the good people that are willing to share their life, to look into the eyes of another child and to look into their soul and say, I will not let you fail. To reach out their hand like so many of us have received from so many. There's a reason we're here today. There's a reason we're successful. Because somebody, many people in many cases, reached out their hand and said, I will not let you fail. I can't tell you how many times it happened to me. What a fallen man. What a broken man. What a really, I can't tell you. I don't want to give away too much of myself, but I was, so many times I needed that. So many times I needed that. And every time I needed it, God gave it to me. And all the people and all the love around me. I get it from you. I get it from everyone. that supports me and uplifts me. I could not do this job. I could not do this job if it wasn't for you. But there are children hurting, and they're looking for God. They are looking for God. They're going to find Him. Ladies and gentlemen, if they're going to find God, there's a lot of people hurting, and there's a lot of people mourning, and there's a lot of people yearning. If they're going to find God, they're only going to find Him through us, through our churches, through our people. There are a lot of hurting people in Saraland, Alabama. They need you. I want you to encourage you. Don't just go back to your job and think that we all have it, because truly and really we are fair. But we can succeed. We can succeed as a community. We really can succeed as a nation if we have and if we mobilize the good Christian people, the good men and women of faith of all denominations that are willing to stick out their hand for another child. Don't listen to statistics and let it roll off your back. I invite you to look and to search for those in need. Search for those that are hurting. Search for those. And in doing so, you do God's work. And in doing so, I truly believe you bring about your own salvation. And you bring real, true goodness to a very good place. Please find a way to help those that are working today. Please find a way to help those in need. Whatever way it is, if they're going to find God, they're only going to see Him through you. Thank you all so very much.
If only he had a little passion or something about kids. He's invited me to do this. He's invited our leadership classes in the past, and hopefully again soon, to not just to let him speak, but he's invited us to come down and see what he does. And if you've ever been down there, you know this man needs prayer, because dealing with the situations he does day after day after day, it cannot be easy. Judge Naman, we really think a lot of you. We pray for you, and we continue to pray for you that you let the Lord use you and do great things in that court system. Couple of things before we go, and I've got just a minute or two. Thank you for everyone who made this possible. I'm going to pick on the one person in here.